The Elite League, otherwise known as the EIHL, has rejected the Murrayfield Racers application to join and replace the Edinburgh Capitals as the 12th team in the Elite League due to the Edinburgh Capitals collapsing at the end of the season. The statement released is very, very brief. We don't know why the application bid was turned down or rejected. We do know that in the statement on the Elite League website that the Elite League has stated there are still options open for that 12th team slot, and there are 6 teams that I think could be asked to go up. There are 6 options. You've got Hull Pirates, Sheffield Steel Dogs, Telford Tigers, Peterborough Phantoms, Swindon Wildcats and Bracknell Beats. They're the 6 teams that could put their hand up and say we have either the rink to do it, the fan base, the money, or a mixture of all 3. Now, I don't think any of those 6 teams go up this year. I think it will be an 11-team league for a little while the league works out what's going on, but they clearly want to fill that 12th league spot. They may even decide to take 3 of those teams and make it a 14-team league. But they're the 6 teams that I think have a chance at some point within the next couple of years of joining the Elite League, one of those 6. If it was Bracknell, that's a natural rival for Guildford. We used to be rivals in the EIHL, and our games used to end up in brawls and many goals, but a lot of fights as well. And it was a heated rivalry, really heated. It wasn't a happy neighbourhood. It wasn't happy neighbours. It was something that you could sell on TV as a rivalry. You really could sell that. Hull automatic rivals for Sheffield, Peterborough automatic rivals for Nottingham. Now the Sheffield does have a second team in the Sheffield Steelers, the Sheffield Steelers and Sheffield Steel Dogs. I don't think the Sheffield team, the Steel Dogs, go up. I think they stay where they are. But Hull, Peterborough, Bracknell, Telford and Swindon, that's 5 options you can still consider. We don't know why the Elite League turned down the Racers ownership group. That will come out in the fullness of time. There will be statements released by both parties. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Elite League starts putting out feelers to those teams that I've listed to see what the response would be. Can they financially step up? Now, I know Swindon have the money. I know Telford have the money. I know Hull have the rink size. They may have the money. Bracknell has the rink size and the fan base. Money's a bit of an issue and the rink needs a bit of a refurb. Peterborough, I'm not 100% certain on, but they have had a very good team for quite some time. You may notice I've omitted the Basingstoke Bison. We've done a video on that, on their rink issues. Their future is in doubt whether they can actually play anywhere, where they can find a home. Their rink is in serious risk of being condemned. They have issues. That's a watch this space on them. But those other teams I've listed, apart from the Sheffield Steel Dogs, maybe that won't work. But the other teams I've listed need to be looked at, and the Elite League needs to be putting out feelers and having conversations with the team owners of those teams to see what a solution can be found to fill this 12th slot. Whether they can find a team within the next 3-4 months to sign up, get a squad together and be able to play is, and be able to pay the players and build a squad is one thing. At the last minute, Guildford and Milton Keynes knew they were going to be leaving many months before the end of the season before last and going up a level. They had time to prepare. This was a well-known fact within the EIHL. It just, unfortunately, Manchester Phoenix decided to go, we're going to go bust. And that left 7 teams left to compete in the EIHL. Hence why that league no longer exists. Hence why the NIHL has gained 7 new teams. So it's an interesting one at the moment. British ice hockey's in a bit of flux. The national team's doing really, really well. The Elite League's expanded this year and has now just lost a team, but it's still one team bigger than it was a year ago. So there's some pros and cons. I wouldn't be surprised if the Elite League does put feelers out, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Murrayfield Racers ownership group comes back with another offer and the Elite League considers it. It does surprise me though that the Elite League has had teams in Belfast and still does, Cardiff, had a team in Edinburgh, but never had a team in London. You would think all 4 capitals of the UK's constituent nations would have a team. Surprising that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they look around the London area, because there are teams just outside like Peterborough and Bracknell just outside London, within commuting distance, that should be considered. It brings top-level ice hockey closer to the London metropolitan area. And there are teams that do play in the NIHL that are based in the Greater London area, in Streatham, and what was the Romford London/Raiders organisation, which have just got a new rink back in Romford, so they'll be called the Romford Raiders again from next year, I believe. You've got the Chelmsford Chieftains in Essex. There are teams around the London area that are playing, that have played at higher levels. They may obviously now be in the EIHL structure, but there are rinks there. There are teams that play. It does surprise me that, for whatever reason, the Elite League has not found a way to either get a rink built and get a team in London. The O2. The NHL has played games at the O2. I am surprised there isn't a London team at the top level. But that's that. So we'll find out what's going to happen in the future. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is my little take on it. We don't know why the bid's been rejected yet, because the Elite League are very good at giving out vague press announcements. But the teams that I listed, that used to be in the EIHL, the old English Premier League ice hockey, those 5-6 teams, because I'm not sold on the Sheffield Steel Dogs going up, but those other 5 teams either have the rink, the money, the fan base, or a mixture of all three. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Elite League is putting feelers out to them. They've originally put league feelers out to Bracknell Bees before, back in 2005. So we shall see what happens long term and going forward. But it is a step up financially for these franchises and these teams to compete. So that's an interesting point. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.